I welcome you all to yet another gameplay experience video. This is the 6th video in the series, yet this map is called 5. I've always wondered about that my entire life. Either way, let's just get right into the review and everything like that, and not waste a single second. If you are unfamiliar with the 5 categories we go by, let me quickly refresh you. We do innovation, creativity, visuals, difficulty, cons, and then a final rating out of 10. That's all. So, let's get straight into innovation. I don't want to spend too much time on this map because I do have some bad things to say. Starting with innovation, 5 doesn't have much innovation, but for the innovation it does have, it brought in a new wonder weapon known as the Winter's Howl, and a new boss called the Pentagon Thief. Holy crap. Aside from that, no new perks were introduced, and over 6 crawlers make a return, and yeah, honestly, that's pretty much it for innovation. Not much coming from here. Though it does make sense because this map was an on-disc release with Kino der Toten, but yeah. Looking from a creativity standpoint, 5 doesn't do much of a bad job at all. In fact, it's kind of commendable when you really think about it. The Winter's Howl is a pretty cool concept. However, its execution fell flat, but the idea is still there. The Pentagon Thief is a pain in the ass to deal with, but it is an interesting idea nonetheless, and it did inspire the creation of Bonfire Sail. I think that's a really cool drop, but it's really rare you're actually going to obtain it. In terms of the map, and I guess the concept of the map, I love it. I love the characters such as JFK that we can play in this map, and on top of that, I love the idea of being in the Pentagon. It's just so cool, so much fun. Except the map itself isn't so strong. I'm going to explain that later. Regarding the visuals and themes of 5, it looks really amazing. I love how the upstairs area is pretty lighthearted, pretty well designed, while the war room, which is the room that you're seeing on screen currently, is darker but still looks fairly illuminated, and as you're going to see really soon, I would assume. No? Okay, well, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to explain this anyway. So, the basement area is in fact really screwed up. There's even a pig that's caught in this bag thing. There's blood littered everywhere. The aesthetic is meant to be really screwed up, and it works so well. So in terms of theme and visuals, yeah, this, just look at this masterpiece. It looks wonderful. So I think visually they did incredibly well with 5. I think it was one of their best. In terms of difficulty, 5 didn't actually do that so well. This is a map that only appealed to really skilled players. Otherwise, you're probably not going to make it beyond round 6 or 7 without any good luck there. And that's quite the off-putter to a map like this, because conceptually, it's so cool. I love the idea of being in the Pentagon playing as JFK and whatnot, but on a side note, how can I even enjoy the map for what it is if the difficulty is such a ball breaker? It's uninviting to new players. And it can't teach you anything, because anything that it would teach you, you're not even going to get to the point where they will start reflecting that skill. You're going to go from this really safe area to hell instantaneously with this map. And I think that's a big problem, and that's why this map as a whole is looked down on. Because although on a concept basis it's super cool, it's super difficult. In terms of cons, 5 does have a couple glaring issues, so I will proceed with telling you what they are. Difficulty is so uninviting, it's balls on the wall difficult, it's obnoxiously difficult, and unless you're at least an intermediately skilled player, you don't have a chance on this map. And if you are like even a hair beneath intermediate, it's all luck based. You need some serious skill to do good on this map. And on top of that, I'd just like to point out a bit of a more minor issue. Nova 6 crawlers for the second time. I don't like that for the life of me, because in Kino der Toten, Kino is a very easy map, and they were in there and they were pains in the asses. They make 5 such an obnoxious game to play. I do not like playing 5 knowing that the Nova 6 crawlers are in there. And sometimes I'll forget that they're in the map, and then I'll play the map, and then I see them, and I just want to literally end my game from there, because I do not like the Nova 6 crawlers on this map in particular. And one more thing, as you're going to see on screen here, is the Pentagon Thief, which will spawn right before my eyes. Ah, there he is. He steals your weapons. And there's very few cases where you can kill him before he does so. if you want a ratio, probably 90% of the time he'll steal your weapon, and maybe 10% of the time you'll kill him before he does, but that 10% requires you to usually get something like a ray gun, so that's problematic in its own right. And not to mention that I'm facing this issue on round 6 when points are a bit of an issue, especially for a map like this. So, as a whole, I do not like the Pentagon Thief. So despite throwing 5 around like a ragdoll with ranting about its difficulty and the Pentagon Thief and even the Nova 6 crawlers as a whole, I do have to say that the creativity is what makes this map travel. It's what makes this map recognizable. This map wants to be good, and it has the material to be good, but it was just executed poorly. So, as a whole, 5 is a mediocre map. It has some really cool things, such as where it takes place and who the characters you play are, but it also has some things that weigh it down a ton. The difficulty is a very big glaring issue, and the Pentagon Thief is not on the same level, but not far from the same level. So, as a whole, I think 5 is deserving of a 6.5 out of 10. It's a map that has quite a few flaws, however, it does have a couple redeeming qualities that might make you want to come back to it monthly, maybe.